Hi sweeties, how are you doing? Welcome to Naya. Same if this is your first time of coming across this channel, sweetheart. Kindly smash that subscribe button, turn your notifications so you are notified each time I upload, and please give this video a thumb up. I appreciate you all so much, and I am saying a very big shout out to every one of you for all the love and support you all give me here. I am grateful. Thank you. So this video is really a very important one, and it was a white man asking why there is no white history. And he was really kicked out. And this man started by explaining, the person that answered the question, that I am going to tell you about white history. First of all, he started by Tulsa Massacre. And he went further to explain what happened during Tulsa Massacre. You know how they always look for a thriving black community because they are jealous, because they cannot stand the progress or the great things coming from black community. They always look for a way to plant something. It's either they use a white woman, or they just tell all sort of lies that will make them bring down a thriving black community, right? And he also went further to say that most of the people in black community that lost most of their properties and all that, some went to the bank to actually withdraw their money because, when they lost their means of identification, and that because a bank can actually identify you even when you don't have a means of identification or something. Like, you can say your name and all that, they impute it, and then probably, but then most of them were not able to get their money back from the bank. So it means most banks are holding black people's money to this very moment, till date. Stay glued. I'm going to roll this clip and come back to talk about it. Let me know what you all think in the comments. Straight up.
Hey, good morning. I can't find the comment, but somebody asked me about white history and why there's no White History Month. And since it's June 1st, I figured why not talk about white history for a month, starting with Greenwood, Oklahoma. On May 31st, 1921, thousands of angry white people flooded the Greenwood district of Tulsa, Oklahoma. You see, the white people of Tulsa, Oklahoma were pissed off at the audacity of black people to turn the Greenwood district into a thriving, affluent, opulent black community. How dare they, when we have segregation set in place and legalized discrimination to prevent them from being prosperous? How dare they prosper in the face of adversity? So, white men told a lie that riled up other white men until thousands of angry white people formed a mob that flooded the streets of the Greenwood district of Tulsa, Oklahoma. There, this angry mob of white people killed over 300 innocent black people. They burned over 1,250 homes. They looted businesses and then burned them to the ground. And in less than 24 hours, angry white people reduced years of black generational wealth and black excellence to ashes. Now, some black families who lost everything in the destruction of Black Wall Street, as the Greenwood district was called, moved and never went back, while others decided to stay and wanted to rebuild Greenwood. But faced with such white adversity, they found rebuilding it to its glory days difficult. And to add insult to injury, white bank managers refused to let black people withdraw their money from the banks, saying that because you lost everything in the great fires, you have no proof that you ever banked with us. And so we're not letting you take out any money. That money has been sitting in the banks since 1921, accruing interest, and their descendants today still don't have access to the money in those banks. And that's how the bombing of Black Wall Street, or the Tulsa Race Massacre, became a moment in white history. Hey, good morning. Here's a moment in white history. Did you know that all but 2 of the first 12 presidents of the United States of America were racist slave owners? True story. Take George Washington, for example, our first president. Both he and his wife, Martha, owned enslaved Africans. And when Pennsylvania created a law ushering in the eventual emancipation of enslaved Africans, George Washington just shuffled his enslaved Africans between Pennsylvania and his home at Mount Vernon to prevent them from being born into freedom. He then spent the rest of his life hunting down Ona Judge, a formerly enslaved black woman who escaped George Washington's enslavement. So, which two presidents of the first 12 were the only ones to not own enslaved Africans? John Adams and his son, John Quincy Adams. And it wasn't until 1977 that we got our first president who wasn't an avowed racist. It was our 39th president, Jimmy Carter. And this has been a moment in white history. Hey, good morning. You said,
just the FYI, it has not been proven that over 300 people lost their life. It's like 36 blacks and 15 whites died. They're still digging in the cemetery.
boy, y'all just love being loud, proud, and wrong, don't you? I summon the power of receipts! I talk about white history for a month, starting with Greenwood, Oklahoma.
I fucking love that man.
Why there's no White History Month. And since it's June 1st, I figured why not talk about white history?
So I'm probably going to get shit for making this video, but I don't care. So Black History Month is a month of the year to celebrate the accomplishments and the history of African Americans and the things that they went through to make them who they are today, the struggles they went through, the accomplishments that they did, in spite of all the things that a bunch of people who did things when I wasn't even alive did. So now you want to come and you want to make a White History Month that it seems like you just want to go on for a whole month shaming white people for things that were done by people that were alive before we were. I wasn't alive in the 20s. I don't know anybody who was, but yet you're going to shame an entire race for something that a few thousand people did 100 years ago? Right on, man. Way to spread positivity and love. God bless.
Hey, good morning. I can't find the comment, but somebody asked me about white history and why there's no...
Hey man, I love your content. I personally don't have the education nor the energy to find racism in every single aspect of American life and culture. But when I do try to point out the little things of racism, I get mad white people attacking me. I don't even know if they all white because they're just comments. Can I tag you when they do that so they can see what a real black person that thinks that everything is racist actually looks like? And then you can tell them why they wrong and why what they think ain't racist really is racist or whatever. Man, help me out. I'm getting crucified. And I look at your comments and all you got is supporters. Oh, good job. Love this. Da 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 da. Man, I say reparations.
Somebody asked me about white history and why there's no White History Month.
I remember when I was young asking my mother, because, you know, there's a Father's Day and there's a Mother's Day, how come there's no Kids Day? And she said, honey, every day is Kids Day. So the answer to that question is, buddy, every month is White History Month.
Starting with Greenwood, Oklahoma. On May 31st, 1920.
Look, I'm not saying you're wrong. Like, it was definitely a fury, a white-hot rage, because the black community there in Greenwood was doing so well. But what I am saying is, you cannot let the reason, the excuse they used, fall out of the narrative. They said Dick Rowland had molested or attacked some woman in an elevator. I can't even remember her name. I don't think her name is important. But Dick's name is, because these stories they tell, they're the ones that they use as the excuse. They're the thing they use to fire up people who would be completely normal and get them doing all these crazy, horrible, egregious, outrageous things. I'm just saying, don't let Dick's name fall out of the narrative.
All right, this is all we got from the stitches. I got what the last woman is saying, because they are good at planting somebody. Like, they always look for a way to plant somebody. that will probably raise an allegation, and from there you will hear something like there is riot and all that, and one person is down, and from there, like, you know, the massacre and the rest of it. Because I really don't know why they keep, like, you know, most of the stories, like all the historical things that I read, like about the massacres that happened in the United States, they all have, like, you know, one pattern. It's always like a white woman or a white lady is used to, like, you know, set up a black man, or a white lady is used, like, you know, there is always a setup that is kind of very clear and glaring, that's like, you know, this was intentional. And then they look, when something like this happen, it's always a very good opportunity, because for them to strike, because a white woman or a white person's cry is, you know what it is like. Yeah. So and where he also said that man, that people that own money, like people that lost their things from the massacre and all that, the money they put in the bank, they were not able to get them back, because their means of identification were lost. Man, preparation now or never, like straight up now. This is all I got for you all, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye for now. Where is my baby now?